Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today we're talking about Captain Marvel. Oh my gosh, Odin, why are you so obsessed with Captain Marvel? Why do you keep talking about it? Well, it's the thing that's still going on in the news, and these idiots in the news keep on talking about it and keep on just making up crap about it, so I gotta call it out. Not to mention, of course, the fact that the YouTube algorithm sucks and will only really reward people that talk about things that are popular instead of talking about things just in general and allowing just the, number of subscribers that you have to watch it. But that's just a whole story for a whole nother day. But what we have here is Captain Marvel has out-earned the Dark Knight, and here's why that matters. Oh yes, please, Anthony, tell me why it matters. Tell me why it's so important. Tell me. And again, please explain to me with as an unbiased mindset as you possibly can why this is indeed important to have. In the months before its release, people predicted that Captain Marvel would fail. Oh my goodness. So basically, this is still a lie that's being perpetuated. The fact that people, were there maybe few people online who said, oh my gosh, it's gonna bomb? Yeah, sure. They were in my comment section. And even I was like, guys, I'm sorry, but it's very hard to say this film is going to bomb. It's hard to say that this film is going to actually fail because guess what? At the end of the day, it is an MCU film and it's going to make some money. The question is how much money? Now, obviously, I vastly just did not think as the normie audience would be coming up to it as nearly as much as they are and have been supporting up to this point. However, this is still a lie perpetuated by the mainstream media. They had no stats to back this up, neither did you. The actual calculated predictions promised a high turnout. No. So once again, you were just basing that off of pre-sales and the same knowledge, the same predictions, the actual calculated data also said and promised that Solo Star Wars story was going to make money, but guess what? It didn't. The reason why is because people did not show up to Solo on opening weekend or on the second weekend. The reason why Captain Marvel did so well is not just because of pre-sales, because guess what? If the movie had just done pre-sales, it would not be this billion-dollar movie. You want to know why? Because most people buy tickets on the day. This is something that I was saying all the way up until the release of the film, because I thought, and obviously I was wrong, that people would not show up on the actual day, on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, not pre-buying tickets to the actual show up to the movie theater itself. Now, obviously, that was me underestimating the normie audience. That was me underestimating just how large the normie popcorn fan audience had become, to the point that anything with MCU on the title is going to get money no matter what. No matter how bad of a movie it is. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, most people will say that Captain Marvel is a mediocre film at best. At best. Anyone that says it's a great film, that it's extremely well made, that it's one of the best films to ever come out from an objective standpoint is lying to you and probably should go back to, go back to school to study what good film actually looks like because they have no idea what they're talking about. Now, again, if you subjectively like the film, hey, that's totally fine. But we're not going to be able to change objective standards here because that's the whole point of objectivity in the first place. So there we go. But people on the internet loudly and angrily predicted the film would be the Cinematics MCU's first big bomb. Once again, the people speaking, at least on YouTube, on Twitter, the bigger accounts, people like me, Geeks and Gamers, other people much bigger than me like Geeks and Gamers, we were saying simply that we did not think the film was going to do as well as other MCU titles. I don't think any of us were saying at any point that the film was actually going to lose money. Go back and watch my videos. At no point do I say this film is going to lose money, that this film is going to bomb. Whenever I said the word failure, whenever I said the word not do as well, what I meant was simply that it was not going to live up, in my mind, it was not going to live up to the expectations that they were building for the film. But as I said, the normie audience is now gigantic and huge and cannot any longer be ignored. And this is going to be the case for at least the next few years, and eventually over time, if they keep going in the Captain Marvel direction, well then you're going to start to see a drop-off of those fans, because guess what? You're already going to have a drop-off after Endgame, because a lot of people kind of say, alright, yeah, I'm done, because if these people and these actors are leaving, I have no interest in this universe anymore. Yet Captain Marvel, the 21st film in the MCU, has made over $1 billion worldwide, as many other crappy films have done also. Love to always, put that point out there, saying just because people are buying tickets to a movie doesn't mean that everyone's loving the movie. Does not mean that the movie's being well received. And if anyone tries to say, oh, but CinemaScore said it was an A, yeah, CinemaScore is also a piece of garbage because they can't back up any of their stats. Literally, all they give you is a letter grade. They don't tell you how many people they surveyed. They don't tell you who got surveyed. They don't tell you what cities they were surveyed. They don't tell you any of that information. And so literally the people, and if you read, when they're hiring people, what they basically say is that the job of the person is to hand these cards out to people as they go in, take them as they come back, and enter that information in themselves into a little iPad. where eventually all that, stuff is put together. So if you're trying to tell me that that can't be fixed, that that can't be manipulated in some way, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you, especially since no one actually writes anything down, but literally folds paper. If you're going to tell me that someone can't just be like, oh, this person put a D, I'm going to put an A. It's very simple in that way. So no, I'm sorry, until CinemaScore can actually be a little bit more transparent in how it comes up with its grade and give a little bit more data for it, then guess what? I'm not going to buy anything that they have to say about any film. Guess what? They also say great things about Alita Battle Angel, and I still don't really buy it all that much either because I think that it's kind of lowballing it, to be perfectly honest. Actually, to be honest, if most films were done accurately, it would be somewhere in the middle. I would say most films would be somewhere in the middle. Even Alita Battle Angel, there were people that did not like it. There were people that loved it. There were people that hated it. There were people in the middle. And so overall, by the end of it, you tend to have, more of a middle ground film, usually in the C or B range films. But the problem is that nowadays everything is all about being so overhyped and about being so oversold that people feel like they either have to put an A or a D. And they don't like falling anywhere in the middle. So once again, just because this film subjectively has been enjoyed by some of the hardcore Captain Marvel Carol Danvers fans out there, doesn't mean that the film is actually any good. Just because the film's made $1 billion does not mean it's an objectively good film. If we're going to start going down that road, I can go ahead and do research and count several films that from an objective standard are not very good and yet broke the $1 billion mark, or at the very least were profitable. On top of all that, in fact, if you want to get into profitability, guess what? Films that would cost a lot less to make but made similar profit margins because of the fact that it did so well on such a small budget, we can take those into account as well. So even though it may not have made the $1 billion, it may have actually made a similar amount of profit because of how much it actually cost to make the film. But if you want me to go down that road, guess what? I can do that. And what you're going to find out is that there are a lot of films out there that have been successful, that have been profitable, that have even broken $1 billion, but they're still not great films. But let's give them, let's give them benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're going to give us some pretty good things, some pretty good reasons as to why the film's doing so well. Earning more than film critics have loved from the start, The Dark Knight. Regardless of your opinion of the film, that's significant. Not really. Again, we're living in the age of superhero films. Keep in mind, when The Dark Knight came out, guess what else had come out at that time? Oh wait, that's right. One of the first big superhero films. The MCU hadn't even begun really rolling yet when The Dark Knight came out. When you looked at Nolan's trilogy, yes, there had been superhero films before that, but Nolan's trilogy is what made it cool to like superheroes. Nolan was able to, from an artistic standpoint, take the superhero genre and be able to turn it into a real-life story that people could actually like and, people could actually connect to and stuff. So I would say that without that trilogy, I don't know if the MCU would look the way that it does today. I don't know if the fan base would have grown nearly as much as it did today. For example, if, with Dark Knight had not been snubbed at the Oscars that year, I don't know if it would have had as much of a cultural impact on a lot of people. These are all factors that have to be taken into account. And it's very hard for us to predict what things would have been like. I don't like going down that rabbit hole of, oh, what things would have been like had things not happened. The impossible hypotheticals. But the fact is that you can't just say this film making more than Dark Knight before even adjusted for inflation is somehow signs that this is a great film. Or somehow a sign that this film is doing better because it's better, it's being better received. Again, you're not taking into account marketing. You're not taking into account the number of theater spaces. You're not taking into account the average ticket price either. Because when you adjust for ticket inflation, these things begin to change very rapidly. But they don't want to do that because all they want to do is push their narrative. CBR.com obviously has one from the very beginning, by the fact that they just twisted things out of everything. The changing market, yes indeed. Basically saying here that it's all about how no longer do the domestic box office, no matter if studios have to kowtow to American audiences, now they can just focus on the global audiences. But guess what? Again, still does not mean that a film is necessarily any good. So notice how they talk about being adjusted for inflation here about everything else. Captain Marvel foreign gross will overshadow The Dark Knight's adjusted domestic box office probably within a week. The foreign gross, adjusted box office domestically, domestic box office. Oh my goodness. So the film opened up in several countries for The Dark Knight. And so therefore, or rather for Captain Marvel. And so therefore, by the time the week is over, then because it's opened up in thousands upon thousands of screens in several countries, it's going to grossly overshadow everything that The Dark Knight was able to do domestically. No crap! No crap! Oh my god, any major big budget film is going to have that type of discrepancy. That doesn't mean that it's good. That doesn't mean it's successful. The Dark Knight's not good because it made $1 billion. It's good because it's a good movie. It's good because you can step back from that objectively and say, the editing is spot on, the acting is well done, the direction is great, the production design is awesome, sound design is well done. These are all objective standards that you can look at. Yes, you can have your subjective views of certain things and certain performances, but there are objective standards to look at. So CBR, if you could just get your head out of your ass and maybe start focusing on those things instead of trying to talk about and defend Captain Marvel as it being some kind of important and awesome film, maybe then we could have an honest discussion. But instead, guess what? You'd rather focus on untapped diversity. Yes, diversity is what led this. Oh yeah, it's because she's a woman. That's why she did well. Okay, then why didn't Wonder Woman make $1 billion? And that was only a couple years ago. Oh, well, do you want to know why? It's because they didn't have the amount of money that Disney has to be able to market it and also to force it into several theaters, forcing theaters to pay, or rather to have so many showtimes, showing it in so many different formats, so that eventually over time, guess what? Means more money, because the average ticket price costs more, because there's more 3D showings, IMAX showings, etc. But let's not talk about this, right? Let's not talk about reality, right? It's because of the diversity that it did well, right? That's why Thor Ragnarok did well, because of diversity. No! People saw the movie because it was marketed to hell. It was available in almost every single theater. The ticket price was higher, average ticket price was higher than any other films that have really come out recently done by other studios. And when you take other comparable examples, they don't match up. So basically, CBR.com is just totally pulling stuff out of its butt to try and justify its own existence. Stuff that's familiar becomes special again, and stuff that's new becomes a billion-dollar idea. After all, before Captain Marvel release, the hero was virtually unknown in the mainstream market. Yes, but if you're trying to tell me that the reason why the reason why Captain Marvel did well is because it was led by a woman, there are way too many other examples I can point to that totally just throw that in its face. What this is, and you can try and spin it as much as you can, what this is the normie popcorn audience becoming so invested in a universe that they will go out and see anything that has the words MCU on it. Literally anything. And you might say, oh, well then why is it that Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't make $1 billion at the box office? That's a great question. Well, for starters, people were still kind of trying to recover from the fact that they had just had Infinity War. But also, too, they didn't market that film nearly as much as well or have as many screenings or showings or 3D showings or IMAX showings as they did for Captain Marvel. So there's easy ways to explain why certain films didn't do as well as other films. The fact is, people still showed up for that film because they knew there would be some connection to Infinity War, as people are showing up to this film because they were told and promised that there would be some direct connection to Endgame. Even though I can tell you as someone who has seen the movie, you can skip this one completely and still totally understand everything that's going on in Endgame because the Russo brothers are great filmmakers and know what the hell they're doing. But I digress. Oh my goodness gracious, what does it say here? Carol Danvers is one of the few female superheroes to lead her own film. That's not why it did well. If you think, oh, sexism. However, let's address the ugly elephant in the room, sexism. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh yes, that's sexism. Destroying a terrible action figure. That's sexism, right? Oh my goodness gracious. Most films featuring a diverse lead face some backlash. Racist, lambasted Wonder Woman and Black Panther. Wait, what? And still scream Star Wars Rey being a Mary Sue. All right, let's just go down to some facts here. CBR.com. Rey is a Mary Sue. What is a Mary Sue? It's a character who's good at something without having an explanation as to why. We still have no explanation as to how Rey not only has access to the Force, but also knows what to do with it in the first place. How someone with no formal training at all, except for what, 2 days with Luke Skywalker? 2 days? 2 whole days of training? The fact that we have nothing tells us she is a Mary Sue. By definition, that is a fact. That is a narrative fact. She is a Mary Sue. Whether you like that or not, it is a fact. There are Gary Stews and Mary Sues all over the place because all that it is a character that is OP, a character that is good at something without explanation. And you can find plenty of examples of both male and female characters that fit that description. Get over yourselves. That's not sexism. People raged when Michael B. Jordan was cast as Johnny Storm. The reason why was because his sister was still being played by a white actress. And so people were scratching their heads saying, wait, the comics have them as being blood relatives. So yeah, I guess you can go into a storyline where they're adopted brother and sister. And I mean, if you do it well enough, that's fine. But guess what? They didn't. Why do you think that film, Fan4Stick, was a terrible movie? Got terrible reviews from audiences and critics alike, and also was a box office bomb. Why do you think that's the case? Because of diversity? No, it's because it sucked. It was because people saw this and said, this doesn't make any sense from a logical perspective. It wasn't because of racism. Were there some racists out there? Probably. Just like there were some sexists out there talking about Rey. But just because 5 people on the internet, on Twitter, say something mean about Michael B. Jordan being cast because of race, because of their actual racist tendencies, does not mean that everyone else that's critical of that choice does the same thing. Again, I would be critical of Michael B. Jordan's casting, but guess what? There are plenty of other castings that I can point to. There is one casting that I will still stand by until it actually happens. And I'm telling you this right now. What you need to do for your next James Bond film is you need to cast Idris Elba. Oh my gosh, you're just virtue signaling. No, Idris Elba is a badass. He's British. Guess what? The only qualification you need to be James Bond is to be British. Guess what? He ticks that box perfectly. And at his age, he could probably pull it off pretty well. Did I mention he's a badass? And there are some people that disagree with me saying, no, he's got to be white. And when you have those people that try and say those things, then that's when you can have that discussion. But guess what? Most people don't. Most people want things to make sense. See what I just said? When I just said, that recommendation of having Idris Elba play as that character, that is something that is based purely on the fact that he is a great actor who could pull it off and guess what? Fits within the parameters of the character. It makes sense. Having Michael B. Jordan play Johnny Storm doesn't really make sense within the parameter of the character, especially when you're going to have his sister being played and being portrayed in the similar way from the comics. Just doesn't make any sense. That's the reason why people freaked out about that. Black Panther, yes. Were there some racists that did not want to see and didn't want to support Black Panther? Sure. Of course. No matter what you do to society, there's always going to be people who are idiots. There's always going to be some people who are racist. That doesn't make it good. That doesn't make it acceptable. But guess what? If you're going to try and say like, oh my gosh, there's never been racist, not until there's not a single racist for any single movie. Guess what? Unfortunately, that's never going to happen because human nature is broken. And the sooner that you can accept that, the sooner you can start to try and fix the actual problems as they actually are. So just because I'm critical of Black Panther, I think it's a B- film at best, does not make me a racist. It means that I have problems with the story. I have problems with the way that it's presented and all these other things. And Wonder Woman, guess what? Let's talk about Wonder Woman. Oh, wait, racist lambasted Wonder Woman. Oh, wait, do you mean the pro-Palestine people that hated the fact that she was Israeli? Do you really want to go down that path? Do you really want to go down that? Because guess what? I can go down that path. I can go down that path of anti-Semitism all day long because it's something that's vastly not talked about in the media. Seriously. Do you want to know what the most persecuted group of people in the United States is? Jewish people. Go ahead, look them up. Look up the crime stats for yourself about hate crimes that occur. Jewish people are disproportionately affected by that more than anything else. But yeah, let's go. You want to go down that path? We can go down that path. But again, talk to me. Let's talk about that. But Wonder Woman, guess what? Most men had no problem with Wonder Woman. That's why it did very well. And that's why many people consider it to be one of the best DCU films. Not because it has a woman in charge, but because it was a better film than almost any other DCU film that had come out. So CBR, get your head out of your ass. Sci-Fi Wire. Captain Marvel was a bittersweet watch. Why was it bittersweet? Because, oh my gosh, it was the first female-led Marvel film, but I didn't like how they handled Maria and Monica Rambeau because of race. You know what? How about instead of talking about this garbage and making up total crap to try and explain why Captain Marvel is somehow better than The Dark Knight, basically is what you're trying to present here because of box office, which is the stupidest argument of all time. Let's talk about the fact that the new Endgame trailer tells us that Captain Marvel's been away for 20 years, and yet she looks no older. She wasn't using light speed from what we can tell, and she pretty much admits it's been 20 years. And if you're trying to say, oh, well, it's because of the Tesseract, and it's because of the Kree blood that she now has, then that's the reason why. Okay, well, then explain that, instead of just letting it happen and then trying to basically use it as kind of like a Deus Ex Machina. Oh, no, see, this is how it works. This is how everything works. Or a retcon later on saying, oh, no, you see, we retconned it. Now it makes sense. No, but instead you're going to focus on this. Instead you're going to call people racist because they didn't like Black Panther, which is just stupid. You're going to say that it's stupid for people. You're going to say it's sexist for people to say that Ray is a Mary Sue, even though objectively speaking, factually speaking, she is. And you're going to say that racist lambasted Wonder Woman, but guess what? Those are the people that are usually on your side of the aisle. I don't like to split people up that way, but let's be honest for ourselves. What party, what political philosophy are most people in the media and in Hollywood? More to the left. Democrat, left, liberal, etc. Again, these are just facts. But let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about some anti-Semitism that's gone. But, obviously that's for a whole other discussion on a whole other channel. But guys, seriously, what are y'all's thoughts on this? I know that everyone's so tired of Captain Marvel being talked about, but I gotta call this stuff out. I've gotta call these idiots out. I gotta call these troglodytes out for doing this nonsense. For seriously trying to spin every single thing in certain direct. Everything has to be about sex. It has to be about gender. It has to be about race. Everything has to be about all of these different things. When in reality, most people just don't give a damn about it. And I will stop talking about this nonsense as soon as they stop talking about this nonsense, but they're not going to. And so therefore, neither am I. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. I'm going to try and talk about more things as the days go on. I want to talk about more things as the days go on, but unfortunately, this kind of stuff really needs to be called out. That's just my thought. But guys, let me know your own thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, smash the like button, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. Also, check out my links if you want an Amazon Prime membership for 30 free days. Yes, that's right, for free for 30 days. Click on that link. Helps me out, helps out the channel a little bit. And also, you get a Audible subscription if you click on the link for the Audible subscription. You also get 2 free audiobooks, 2 free, for free, if you just do the trial, which is for free. You get 2 free audiobooks if you sign up for that trial using my link. And again, it does help out the channel. And also, if you shop on Amazon at all, use my affiliate link because that also helps me out and costs you nothing. Just helps me out. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Cannot wait for Star Wars Celebration later this week. But also, if you indeed watch my live streams, the live stream tonight will indeed be delayed because I have a family outing to go to. There will be a stream tonight. It'll just be a little bit later. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.